Yes, this is wildlife biologist Eric Orff with my New Hampshire YouTube channel, New Hampshire Fish and Wildlife. Well, here we are into late January, and yesterday morning, between 8 and 9 a.m., the Suncook River, which sits, 50, 60 yards behind my house, skimmed over. It was flowing when I first looked out around 8, and when I looked out again at 9, it was frozen over, as is the Merrimack River in Concord. And today I went by the Southcook River in Loudon. That too has caught. So catching very late this winter. So the river normally was frozen much earlier than this. When I first moved here nearly 41 years ago, that next winter, the winter of 79-80, and for the next decade or more, the Suncook River here at my house became a snow machine route. Snow machines traveled up and down all winter long, probably beginning in December. So this year, here it is, the end of January, before the Suncook River has caught. So what else is happening? Well, we've had, I just looking here on my deck, I would say 7 or 8 inches of snow from the last 2 storms over the last 10 days. So we are covered with snow again, and it's been brutally cold this week. I wake up in the morning, 7, 8 a.m., it's 8 or 10 degrees, so it's been quite cold. And you think you're in the dead of winter. But other animals are thinking of spring. Here in February, which starts in another week or 10 days, the owls begin to get ready for breeding. So owls normally find their partners and are looking and creating nest sites and begin nesting in February each year. Great horned owls and barred owls. So our owls, you will soon be hearing owls calling at night. Coyotes will be breeding here very soon, as will gray squirrels. I've seen some gray squirrels chasing each other within the last week. Well, that chasing behavior really picks up in the next few weeks, because squirrels will be breeding and producing their first litter here in just a little short time. So they breed in late winter. I think the gestation period is something like 44, 45 days, so a month and a half, and the first litter is born, and they'll have another litter later in the summer. So our gray squirrels, their activity is picking up. This time of year, ducks and geese are pairing up, and it won't be long, usually by the end of March here in central and southern New Hampshire. The ducks have returned, and as soon as there's open water, they'll be here. So if we have an early spring in March, there will be ducks and geese about. So, a little over a month and a half, you can expect the waterfowl to be showing up in numbers. But if you think further south, in reality, the songbirds that migrate and head to Central or South America, the days are lengthening here. Our nights are staying lighter later. And certainly the birds that are in Central and South America are noticing the change. The days are getting shorter if they're in South America. And that means that it's nearly time to start migrating north. So they will be getting itchy and rambunctious and ready to migrate north fairly soon. By the end of February, some of these birds are already on their way, kind of a little at a time, dribbling north. It doesn't happen overnight. Most of the birds takes some weeks to come and go. They leave in, many of these birds leave in September or no later than October, and by, March, they're well on their way, in April certainly, and almost all birds are returned by late April and the first week of May. So birds are in South America right now, and Central America are getting itchy to head north. So things will be happening down there very shortly. So here it is. Seems like midwinter, but wildlife activity will be picking up very shortly. So we'll have owls hooting, coyotes calling, squirrels chasing, the winter and maybe even a spring chickadee song here call in a couple of weeks or few weeks. So some of them may begin opening up too. So despite the fact that it's cold today, it's probably 20 or 28 or 30 degrees right now. I didn't look at the thermometer, but it's pretty cold, and it just seems like everything is frozen solid. That is not the case. Wildlife actually is beginning to stir in anticipation of spring. So don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if you would. I'd appreciate that. So yeah, looking forward to spring myself. I don't quite have the spring itch yet, but a warm winter's day sure gets your mind wandering about that first smell of spring. So that is a few weeks away. But yeah, animals are beginning to think about spring. Owls, coyotes, gray squirrels. Spring is just around the corner, and they know it, and they're getting ready.